Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to talk about modality in semantics. We have already covered many things under semantics, like we have talked about aspect, we have talked about time, we have talked about lexical semantics, and we have talked about sentential semantics. Now it is time that we should look at modality and its role in semantics. Modality is the semantic information associated with the speaker's attitude or opinion of what he has said. Modality is also defined as what the speaker is doing with the whole proposition. Now, we have already read about different kinds of sentences. For example, there are assertive sentences, declarative sentences, imperative sentences, and expressive sentences. And with the help of all these sentences, we can perform modality, and we can talk about modality, and we should understand the difference between epistemic and deontic modality. There are people, they will say that there are 8 kinds of modality. There are linguists who say that there are 20 kinds of modality. And there are people who say that there are 3 kinds of modality: logical modality, epistemic modality, and deontic modality. But two very common modalities which are discussed in the books of semantics are epistemic modality and deontic modality. Modality has got to do with our judgment, with our assessment, with the assessment of the speaker, with the kind of judgment that speaker is making, with the kind of logical conclusion that speaker is drawing. You should remember that mostly these epistemic and deontic modalities, they are subjective, they are very much personal, because modality is used to talk about the mental models which exist in our mind. Modality is used to talk about the proposition, and it explains that what kind of worldview the speaker or the author has talked about. So, of course, your worldview about a certain thing, about a certain event is different, and my worldview and my point of view about a certain event is different. You should also remember that it is very difficult to differentiate between epistemic and deontic modalities. Usually, we say that epistemic modality talks about necessity, it talks about possibility, it talks certainty, and deontic modality talks about requirement. It talks about that what is obligatory. Okay, so when we are talking about possibility, when we are talking about necessity, when we are talking about higher level of certainty, we are dealing with epistemic modality. And when we are talking about, you know, uh, permission, when we are talking about requirement, it means that we are dealing with deontic modality. Okay, so usually judgments and evidentials, they are the part of epistemic modality, and imperative sentences and declaratives, they are part of the deontic modality. But the modal verbs that we usually use to talk about modality are can, could, may, might, shall, should, must, ought to, need to, and dare. Then there are certain other words like adjectives, like adverbs. They can also be used to talk about modality. For example, the word possible, probable, or probably, or possibly, or certainly, or surely. These are the words that people also use to talk about modality. It is very difficult, as I have said, to differentiate between epistemic and deontic modality. Why? Because certain modal auxiliary verbs, they are used epistemically as well as deontically. So we will have to specify the role of the speaker, the role of the author in the context. We will have to see the utterance which is spoken by a speaker, in what context that utterance has been spoken, in what context that proposition has been spoken. So context will help determine that whether it is epistemic modality or it is deontic modality. As I have just told you that modal auxiliary verbs like must, can, could, shall, should, will, would, etc., they are used for modality. So they have some uses which are related to epistemic modality and some uses which are related to deontic modality. Here you should be very much clear that can, could no doubt is the second form of can, but when they are used as modal auxiliary verbs, could can be used for present or future purposes. It is not necessary that might or could they are being used for past tense. They will become past when, in certain situations, for example, when you are changing from direct to indirect speech. So, of course, where the person has used you can go, it will become you could go. You may work, it will become you might work. So, here, if the reporting speech is in past tense, so of course, the reported speech will be changed into the past tense. So here can will be turned into could and may will be turned into might, and we are specifically talking about past. But it might rain today. Here I am using might for present purposes. It might rain tomorrow. Here I am using might for future purposes. So when there are very less chances, when there are very less chances, when there is very less probability, when there is very less possibility of something that it is happening, we use might. But here might is not the past form of is not giving the meaning of past tense. In this case, might or could or even can or may or should or would or must, they require have plus third form of the verb to give the past meaning. Ali must have gone to Lahore. Ali must have gone to Lahore. I am talking about past. That there are higher chances, because he met me yesterday, he told me that he was about to go to Lahore. Today I am making him calls and he is not attending my call, he is not in his office, so he must have gone to Lahore. But there is other person who is sitting and who is listening to my proposition. He says no, he met Ali in the morning and he said that he is not going to Lahore. He has dropped the idea of going to Lahore. So he replies, Ali could not have gone to Lahore. So here negative of must is made with the help of can't or couldn't. And we are using must in the meaning of epistemic modality, because we are talking about higher level of chances. Must have gone and couldn't have gone. So here must is used epistemically, but when it is used for necessity, okay, when it is used for obligation, when it is used for requirement, then must will be used deontically. For example, you must work hard in order to pass the exam. So it is very necessary. It is speaker's obligation. It means speaker has got authority. And when the speaker is using must, it means he can be your father, he can be your mother, and he or she has got authority on you. So they are using their authority and they are telling you that if you do not work hard, you are not going to pass the exam. So you must work hard. You must get up early in the morning. And if you do not follow these instructions, there will be consequences. And here negative of must is made with must not. For example, you mustn't come late. So it means as a teacher, I say this thing to the student that you mustn't come late to my class. If you come late, there will be punishment. So this is speaker's obligation. And it means speaker has got authority on you. It means speaker is going to take action against you if you are not going to follow these instructions. So in one meaning, must is used epistemically and its negative is made with the help of can't or couldn't. In another meaning, must is used, okay, for necessity, for obligation, and it means it is external obligation. It means the person who is saying this proposition, he has got authority, and if you do not follow his or her instructions, there will be consequences, there will be punishment. Then there is another word, another modal auxiliary, that is called has to or have to, and its past is made with had to. For example, and here must also, it has its past with had to. You must work hard, and its past form will be you had to work hard. You must listen to me. Past will be you had to listen to me. So we should move forward. Have to expresses external obligation. External obligation means that the speaker is just conveying the message. Speaker does not have the authority. For example, you have to meet 75% of attendance in order to sit in the exam. Now, this is the instruction given to me by the authorities of the university. I, as a teacher, I am just conveying their message to you. It means if you do not meet 75% of attendance, I am not going to take action against you, but university will take action against you. So I am just conveying their message to you. You have to meet 75% of attendance in order to sit in the exam. So have to is external obligation, must is speaker's obligation, and then should, it has got no force. It is just a recommendation. It is up to the listener. If he obeys, if he follows, well done, good. If he does not obey, if he does not follow, the speaker is not going to take any action against the listener. For example, as a teacher, I say, you should come on time, you should work hard. So it all depends on the listener, it all depends on you. If you want to follow the instruction, well done, good. Of course, you will get benefits. If you do not want to follow the instructions, the teacher is not going to take action against you. So these are the differences. From high to low, must is on the top, then have to, and then should. Same is the case when we talk about certainty, when we talk about possibility, when we talk about probability. Must is on the top. Then we have got, okay, can. Then we have got may. Then we have got might. And little bit above might, we have got could. So if can is 50%, may is 50%, could is 30%, might is only 10%. It might rain today. I can't see any clouds outside. So it looks to me, it seems to me that there are no chances. So I say it might rain today. But when there are black clouds and it is, lightning, so I say it must rain today. It means there are higher chances. The evidence that I have got, it is more. So when I have got more evidence, my proposition, the kind of truth that I am going to tell you, the kind of worldview that I am going to give you, it is going to use must. And when I have no evidence or very low evidence, then the kind of proposition, the kind of worldview that I am going to present, it talks about that there are mere chances, that there are very low chances that it might rain today. Then there are some other uses of can or may. For example, can is basically used for ability. Okay, you can see me, you can write this essay, Ali can walk fast. It is Ali's ability that Ali can walk fast. May is used for possibility. You may pass the exam. For lesser probability, lesser possibility, you might pass the exam. But if I see that somebody is very dedicated and is working very hard, burning midnight oil, not taking care of day and night, and putting all his heart and mind to studies, so because this is what the evidence that I have collected, the reality that I have collected. So you must pass the exam. You must get good marks. So this is how we talk about different kinds of uh, realities of the world, perspectives of the world, worldviews of the world through modal auxiliary verbs. So the role of you know modality is very important. Epistemic modality, it talks about commitments of the speaker, that whatever he is saying, that to what extent the truth of a proposition is possible. She may be cute or she must be cute. She must love him or she may love him. So there are differences. So in must, there are more chances. You have lot of evidence. You are very certain. In might, there are very less chances, mere chances. You do not have evidence. Low probability. Okay. So in the end, I would like to summarize that in our today's lecture, we have talked about modality. Modality is used for possibility or necessity. It could be subjective. It is based on the evidence that you have got. If you have got lot of evidence, okay, you are sure about something, then of course your possibility or probability or the worldview that you are presenting, it is very high. But when you have very low evidence, so the kind of proposition that you are expressing with the help of modal auxiliary verbs, okay, it means that less possible, and people are not going to, or people should not believe in it as much as they can when must is used. We have talked about epistemic modality and deontic modality. Deontic modality, okay, is concerned with obligation, it is concerned with requirement. Epistemic modality, it is concerned with beliefs, it is concerned with certainty, it is concerned with evidence, higher level of evidence, and it is the context which can explain in its true sense whether the modal auxiliary verb is used epistemically or deontically. Otherwise, we cannot categorize that these are the deontic modal auxiliary verbs and these are the epistemic modal auxiliary verbs. Plus, there are certain verbs like necessary, possible, or adverbs like possibility, like probability, or surety, or certainly, which also express modality. Thank you very much.